If you're looking for some straight-up marketing advice that's super chilled and also a bit of a laugh, then grab yourself a drink and get ready for Marketing and Margaritas, a podcast that makes marketing entertaining. Brought to you by Rebel Nation, direct from regional Queensland.
Hello and welcome to Marketing and Margaritas. I'm Jay from Rebel Nation, and Lani's not here this week because she's off on holidays, enjoying herself while I'm working and busting my ass. But anyway, I am joined by Kelly from Local Eyes Optometrists though. So Kelly is here today to talk to us about marketing your new business. So Kelly went out on her own with the optometry practice about 12 months ago. And it's really interesting because I've seen a lot of new businesses get started, and the ones who actually are prepared, who have like a marketing budget, the only ones I've ever seen really do that well has been in the healthcare field. And Kelly was definitely one of those people. She knew that marketing was going to be important, and so that was part of her strategy right from the get-go. We've had a bit to play in that journey as well, which has been awesome. And so how about I shut up and let you go into it, Kelly? Thank you so much for being here.
No worries.
So just to start off with, tell me optometry, what's the draw card? Is it just so exciting listening to people say the same words over and again?
I do repeat myself quite a lot. But no, it's very cliche, but I do enjoy it. I love helping people. I love that, feeling that you're doing something good for someone.
Oh man, and eyesight is so crucial to like our quality of life. As a glass, I've been wearing glasses since I was 4 years old. Yeah. So for me, it's like not having my glasses is really
they're a part of you.
Difficult. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, I'm really passionate about educating people on eye health and making sure people know how to look after their eyes properly, obviously helping people see well. I see lots of kids. I get a lot out of that.
That's nice.
I tolerate other people's kids better than my own. So, I do really, really love what I do.
I have to admit, I always feel a bit awkward at the optometrist because they're like, okay, which one's better? First one or second one? And I'm like, and I just feel like it's a test that I'm failing all the time because I'm like, they look the same. Can you do that again? Maybe number one. It's really hard. Is it meant to be hard? Is it on purpose hard, or am my eyes that fucked up?
My standard line to people when I test their eyes is basically, I'm going to show you two different lenses. I want to know which is clearer. You're allowed to tell me they look the same because that gives me as much information as being able to pick.
Oh, so that is useful.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. I don't feel quite so hopeless now.
You're allowed to ask to see it again, so I can show it to you as many times as you like. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. And so how long have you been doing optometry?
So I started in the optometry field straight out of school. So I started my optometry degree.
I was going to say it's degree.
Yeah, it's degree. Yes. So I started my degree in 2005, but I worked part-time while I was studying in an optometry practice. So I was the one who answered the phones and made appointments and helped people pick glasses.
So you knew right at school time that you were like, yep, eyes, them gushy balls of squidgy crack, that's what I want to do for a living.
Look, I wanted to do something in healthcare. I don't know optometry specifically. It was a family friend who kind of went, hey, what do you think about optometry? And I don't know.
You're like, yes, eyeballs, give it to me.
Sounds all right.
I'm sticking my fingers in people's eyes, please.
Better than podiatry anyway. So, look, I went straight from school to uni to do optometry. I worked as an optical dispenser while I was studying. So when I graduated, I went straight into working full-time as an optometrist. My first job was actually in Townsville. So I went to school here in Mackay, went to uni in Brisbane, and then went to Townsville for my first job. So I've been working as an optometrist for however many years that is.
Yeah. So when did you come back to Mackay?
So I came back to Mackay in 2014.
Okay, all right. So it's,
yeah. So
that's
been back in Mackay nearly 10 years. Yeah. So we probably spent 10 years away between uni and working in a few different places, and then being back in Mackay. We kind of moved back to Mackay. My husband's from here too, so we moved back to Mackay to be closer to family and
Especially with kids.
Yeah,
Stuff makes life
it just
easier,
makes
man.
life easier.
I mean, I don't have children, but from what I hear, you can give them to someone, you don't feel as guilty, etc.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
which sounds useful to me. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay,
So,
cool.
yeah.
All right, so working in optometry for a gazillion years.
A while, yeah.
And then you were just like, woke up one day and you're like, you know what? It sounds really awesome to just work 6 days a week, be really stressed, have to deal with all this extra issues. That's it. I'm going to start my own business.
Sounds good in theory. No, I look at zero regrets starting our own business. So the opportunity kind of just came about through a few different conversations. It's probably something that I've always thought that I would want to do long term. Working in a corporate optometry space, a lot of the chain optometry stores are very, retail focused and, KPIs
and stuff.
And all of those things. And to me, optometry is more about helping people, doing the right thing.
That's your care part of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. So that can get lost sometimes.
I feel with some of the bigger guys, it does get lost sometimes, and we're in Mackay to stay. We've got no intentions of moving anywhere, and a lot of optometry is moving a bit more into that retail space. Practices not run by optometrists. So yeah, that was kind of the motivation, I suppose. But
to have your own little boutique.
Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck you want.
Absolutely. I like doing whatever I want. So no, it's been really good. Yeah. So I say all the time, I'm working way more hours than I ever have, but it's on my own terms.
Stressed way more than probably ever have been before. I have to think about way more than you've ever had. Yeah,
but I wouldn't change it.
Life.
Yeah, wouldn't change it.
Yeah,
like I said, zero regrets. It's on my own terms, and I can, work around kids if I need to. And
when the crazy decisions and changes and stuff get made, they're your crazy decisions and changes.
Right.
So,
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay, cool. All right. And so it's been about 12 months. Do you feel like you're finding your feet yet, or does it still feel like really new?
No, look, I definitely think we're finding our feet.
Because it's not like you've been doing optometry for so long, so like that part of it would probably have felt fairly smooth as a transition. It's just there's a difference between what you do as a trade and being a business owner and managing all that part of it.
Absolutely. So the day-to-day testing, seeing patients, super easy. I'm 100% comfortable with all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The business stuff, it's coming, and I've probably learned quite a lot over the last 12 months. If I don't ever have to set up another business and do a shop fit out and deal with all of that stuff again, I'll be happy.
But especially fit out, man. I've not actually had to do that part of it. Like each time we kind of just like moved our shit in and dumped it, and like the fit out was already done and looked really good. So it was just like, here's our crap. Sort of thing. So, but fit outs do not seem like fun.
Yeah, no. we were pretty lucky. Everything ran relatively smoothly. We had an amazing builder who did our shop fit out.
Makes such a difference.
Yeah. So that helped, I think.
Where are you guys located again?
We're in Northern Beaches Central, so in the Coles complex. At
I was going to say, I was pretty sure you weren't like separate. I thought you were in like a thing.
Yeah, in sort of that complex. So Northern Beaches.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's go to my thing because I can never remember anything. All right, so in year one, which we're just coming to the end of, can you tell me what were some of the marketing activities that you did?
So I feel like we have done quite a lot of different marketing activities. Mm-hmm. So we've done a lot of radio advertising. We've done some billboard advertising.
They looked awesome.
Yeah, thank you. We have done some Google ads, we've done media releases, we've done a mail out to our local area.
Socials.
We've got, our socials, so we've done some Facebook advertising. We have done a bit of face-to-face networking, tried to do some, get involved in local business networking.
I know you came to that chamber event. Not you, sorry, I think you were...
No, it was me. Oh, no, that changed. Yeah.
The one that I said, I think was Beck,
Yes.
that you were sick
I
or
was
had
sick.
something.
Yes.
Or, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So we have tried to attend those sorts of things. We've done some articles in Call Live. We've done some newspaper advertising. We've done some sponsorships.
I think that's great, man. That's what really recommend for people is to basically, you know, when you're starting out, it's not like, oh, this is how you should advertise or blah, blah, or this is how you should market to this audience. It's kind of like, okay, well, this is who we are, and this is who we're trying to target, and this is what we want them to know about us.
Yeah.
Trying out those different things and then actually paying attention to what does and doesn't work so that as the years go on, you can just hone it further and further and just keep capitalizing on what works for you, because now is the easiest time to try those things out.
Yes. Yeah. No, I feel like we've tried a lot of different things, and I think we needed to really know exactly what you said, what works.
Because it's not a science, man. It's not like you go, okay, if you have 2 billboards, a press ad, and Google ads for 6 months, that will equal 150 clients every week. Congratulations, tick, tick, tick.
Yes.
I mean, that'd be really nice.
Yeah.
Especially for the organizational part of me. I'm like, oh man, it would dovetail so neatly, but it's so messy.
Yeah.
So what have you found out of all of those different things you've done? What were the ones that you felt makes a big difference, like were the most noticeable?
So I feel the most successful things that we did, as much as I hate to admit it, were the things that had my face, my name, my voice. So the personalised things. I found we got the most response out of that. People going, I saw your face on the billboard, or I heard your voice on the radio. So I found people really responded to that personalisation. They want to know who I am. They want to know that, they're supporting a local business and it's owned by a local person, and, you're the face of the business and
then you are actually doing my test.
That's exactly right. And that continuity of care, which again is something that you don't always get. You're still here. Yeah. So that we're not going anywhere. You're going to see the same person. This is me. This is my business. People seem to really respond well to that. So
that makes total sense.
Yeah,
especially for what you do. It's like, I mean, not that eyeballs are, like they're out there for everyone to see. It's not like they're hidden away, but it's still intimate.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you're up close and personal and stuff, and like it's your eyesight. Like I was saying before, it's like a really crucial. Not that some body parts aren't crucial, but like your sight is really important.
Yeah. So that's probably any of the things that were more personalised seem to work really
and as well too, like because you'd already been doing optometry here for however long.
Yes.
It's not like you were this brand new face that nobody ever knew. So it's like going, there's Kel. That's where she is now.
That's
cool.
right.
We're going to go take the kids over to her.
This conversation with you early on, exactly. A lot of the marketing that we've done is just awareness of you.
Sorry, I'm not giggling at you. I'm giggling at me. Because it's just, I have this bad habit where it's like, I can give other people advice, but then it's almost like I just tune it out for myself sort of thing. And that whole like stepping into like really embracing that you are the brand, that you are the face of the company, and that it's not about ego. It's actually the more comfortable you can be with it, the more that you can build your business to be successful. Yeah. You fucking went with that. You did so well.
Yeah.
I started my first business nearly 10 years ago. The agency is obviously the biggest one because it's got staff and people's livelihoods rely on me and shit like that. I'm only just feeling like I'm actually stepping into that now.
Yeah.
So you're way ahead of me 1 year in as opposed to 5.5 years. So
I wouldn't say I was comfortable with it.
No,
and I'm still probably not.
You do it, darling. That's what I mean. Like I wish that previous me would have been paying attention to what I was saying and doing it for myself. That's okay. We could all learn. There's always changes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what things that worked well were those personalised things.
Yeah.
Was there anything that particularly tanked for you? Like, obviously, not to discourage any kind of marketing because every business, every audience, whatever is different. Yeah. For you, for what you were trying to achieve, was there anything where you're like, I just felt like this was a complete fucking waste of time?
Well, I think again, just the opposite of the personalised stuff, the stuff that was very salesy marketing. We didn't probably get the response that we wanted, or they weren't attracting the right type of target audience.
Okay, that's a really interesting point to know too. So it's like, if we do things in a specific way, it's not like it's not getting any attention, but it's not getting us the ideal clients that we want. The people that we want more respond to this. So it's not even just that you're paying attention to what got more traction, you're really paying attention to what got you the type of response you want.
That's exactly right. So, for example,
you get every old stuff. Fuck off, man. Well done to you.
For example, some of the Google advertising or the Google ads that we did, we found that people.
Did you do search, display, or YouTube?
Good question. The search, like the
search,
search.
Yep.
So Google
search is just text only.
Yes.
So
only.
There's no graphics or anything like that. It's
just text. And we found we were getting heaps and heaps of phone calls, but it was people thinking they were calling someone else because they'd searched optometrist or a particular optometrist, and we had a couple of instances where people made appointments. We got right to the end of the phone call, and it's like, oh no, this wasn't the optometrist that that I meant to call. So we tried really hard to convert them, but
you can still come to us.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I just spent all the time with you, but I'm fine. I'm going to do this again with someone else.
So some of the advertising probably, like I said, wasn't attracting the right. That worked in that it increased leads or it increased phone calls,
but
people coming in, but not the right type of target audience.
And how are you going with your, again, so Northern Beaches, and forgive my memory because
that's okay.
I know we've had these conversations and stuff, but I'm just shocking. There's not another optometrist in Northern Beaches.
No.
So there's one on North Side.
So
one on North Side?
One in North Mackay.
One North Mackay.
And
the rest are town and stuff, aren't they?
Mount Pleasant. There's a couple in Mount Pleasant Shopping Centre, and the rest are in town.
Okay, radio. Yeah. But Northern Beaches, you dominate. That's
we're
your
the
area.
only ones out there.
Okay. Yes. And so how are you finding, again, you're not a new name for people who've already gone to you, but there's still a lot of people who have their own optometrists who've never heard of you. So you're going to be a new name potentially in that, geographical footprint.
Yes.
How are you finding that local support going?
Really good, actually.
Cool.
Really good. We find that people love not having to drive all the way into town.
It's the same on the other side though, man. I remember I lived in Glenella for a big chunk of my life.
Yeah.
And I going into, I used to go into town every day for work, but going to Canelands, I was just I got to have at least 5 things saved up before I'm going to go to Canelands.
Yeah.
And now it's the same thing. I don't go to Northside. The only reason I go to Northside, pretty much a Spotlight and Kmart.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, friends and family occasionally, but mainly Kmart and Spotlight.
I've become that person who doesn't go into town too, though, because I live in the Northern Beaches. So
we seem to just think there's some massive divide there, and it's it's not that big, but it feels big.
We've also had we've had quite a lot of people who obviously live in the area who have this is so great, you're here.
Convenient.
It's easy. A lot of retirees who are sort of we're not working anymore. We're trying to do as much as we can out around, close to home. So having this service is excellent.
Cool.
We've had a lot of people who, you're convenient and you're a local business. We want to come and support you. Yeah, absolutely. So support from Northern Beaches community has been really good. Yeah, really
that's
lovely.
Cool. And so the sponsorship that you did, was that in the Northern Beaches area?
So we've done a few kids sporting teams and school events and stuff like that.
I know it can be really difficult because it's so intangible, but at the same time, you just think of your own behaviour and recognition stuff. When you see those names and brands and stuff around, when they're doing good in the community and supporting the community, not only is it that brand awareness, but it's that feel good, it's PR as well sort of thing. So it definitely has an impact, I reckon.
So I found any of the donations or sponsorships and things, they're probably not things that are bringing people into the door as such. But like you said,
not
it's that
really
building
that
your
kind
brand.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's like you also need to know what you're trying to achieve. Like when you're first starting out, it's bums on seats. Like it is inquiries at school. Like you said, that sometimes when you have activities that give you a lot of inquiries and calls, doesn't mean that they're quite the right fit either, sort of thing. And so much of this stuff I think is not. So many people will just do marketing where they're like, oh, these are the things that we do. And, they just keep doing the same things year after year or whatever. And they don't necessarily reflect on what does and doesn't work. And then when they do reflect, they're like, oh, sponsorships don't work, get rid of them all. And it's like, you don't know what that could have, like if you've been doing a particular sponsorship for 5 years with an organisation, they don't know what kind of goodwill and stuff could have been built up there that, they could be recommending and all that kind of like, oh, these guys support us every year. Like we really recommend you go, you know what I mean? Like we just don't always realise the impact that we can be having on other people's lives. Having said that, some sponsorships can be complete fucking duds. And it really pisses me off when people don't take care of sponsors, because I'm like, they're giving you money. Yes. Like, unless the person's like being really, demanding and unrealistic, like in general, you should really want to put a lot of love on your sponsors to keep that relationship as good as you can. So it's, sorry, that was a rant, but that's what I want to do. But I just think, I think there's some things there where it's like, it's definitely good to reflect and see what isn't bringing in what you want. But then also looking at that bigger picture and going, okay, if I'm going to be a part of the community, if I say I'm going to be a part of the community in 10 years' time, then, in 10 years' time, I would love to say that since we first started, we've been supporting this crew. Or, this event started in Northern Beaches in 2025 and we've sponsored it ever since it first started. Those kind of things as well. Okay, cool. All right, so back to my cheat sheet. Okay, so what are some things that you haven't done that you would like to try or that you want to have a go at but do in a bit of a different way?
Wow, this is probably not the answer you're looking for.
I can't wait now.
But our plan at the moment is to maybe actually just step back and not do anything for a little while.
That's valid as well. Having a breather in your market can be just as useful.
So our plan, or what we want to try, I suppose, at the moment is to just do nothing for a couple of months and see what happens.
As long as you keep your baseline going. Yeah. So obviously you guys will always have like your shop signage and everything. You've got your website, you've got your socials, you have your online presence. Like as long as you have your baseline running, sometimes taking a step back, seeing where things settle and then making decisions from there is actually really useful. So no, you don't use any of your gold stars. It's fine.
Thank you. So I feel like over the last, even few months, I want to know that we've built enough brand awareness that people know who we are, they know where we are, they know what we do, and that most of our patients who are coming in the door at the moment, when we ask them, how'd you hear about us? Most of it is, a family or a friend recommended me, or I heard someone talking about you. So I feel like a lot of our referrals now are coming from previous patients and that word of mouth.
And word of mouth is one of those things that people think that it just magically appears on its own, and that it's like they don't actually think it's a marketing channel. And it's like, no, word of mouth is not like you can facilitate word of mouth happening. It's not its own little standalone unicorn sort of thing. So trying to make sure that you're giving people a really good experience, that it's consistent throughout, that you're asking people for those referrals, that you're asking for reviews, that you're keeping your baseline up so that when people go for it, like they get a recommendation, they go for a stalk, it's easy to find you, you look credible, you look current, all those kind of things.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of take a step back is what we want to try, and just see how that goes. We probably want to maybe do a little bit more Facebook advertising. I'm very bad with knowing how social media works, and maybe just a bit more networking, like thinking outside of the box a little bit, maybe like some collaborations with other businesses and, some mutual things with local business.
Strategic partnerships are awesome, man. Like, honestly, I think, like, for me, I'm quite lucky in the sense that because I've been networking and part of the business community since I was in uni here in Mackay, I've got quite an extensive network. And I honestly think that there's so much that I haven't had to build there because I already had it growing this whole time without realizing.
Yeah.
It's funny though when you say about brand awareness though, because like, you know, I've been in the Mackay business community since like, I think I first started networking maybe like 2004, 2005, maybe even earlier. Like when I was doing my degree, so it would have been earlier than that. So it was really fucking long time. And so, you know, building that reputation, and then it's been 5.5 years since I bought the agency. So 4.5 years since we've rebranded to Rebel Nation.
Yeah.
There are still so many people who don't know me and who don't know Rebel Nation who are in business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's some people where it's like we might have even worked with their company before, but they won't know about us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like, I don't think you can ever really achieve, like there's a reason why, you know, McDonald's and Coca-Cola and stuff spend millions of dollars on brand awareness.
Yeah.
Is because you can't just guarantee that people will not only know you, but remember you and stuff as well. Brand awareness is, but the thing is though, like I said, by, you know, having that good customer experience, having your online presence, you know, all up to date and the bomb and everything, and then doing that face-to-face networking as well, and collaborations and stuff. I think that's a really good strategy, man. And it'd be really interesting to see then how it goes from there too.
Yes. Yep. So that's kind of the plan.
Mm-hmm. And so do you plan out like I do a 5-year strategy pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a 3-year core, but it always goes up. And then a yearly plan for my business, and then my marketing kind of falls out of that.
Yeah.
How do you do your planning?
Yeah, so similar sort of way. So we've got basically a 3 to 5 year sort of where we want the business to be, and then we've sort of tried to come back to our business plan every 6 months and our budget and kind of rejig things a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Our marketing budget initially probably wasn't as realistic as it should have been.
Most people's marketing budget is zero. And I was like, people will spend so much money on getting their business up and running.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, oh, we've only got a really small marketing budget. And I'm like, well, how are you going to get isn't it customers who pay you? Like, how are you going to get paid if you don't get customers?
If they don't know about
how are you going to get customers if you don't market? Like, I just find that part of the equation really interesting.
So we've always had a marketing budget, but
so many people don't. So trust me, you've got more props than you realise there.
Going back and actually looking at what we've spent over the last 12 months versus what we had budgeted for, we've probably realised that we need to reallocate things a little bit.
But that's also too, if you're your first business, man, how are you supposed to know how much a billboard ad costs and shit? You know what I mean? I remember, I'm not going to say which billboard, but it's so funny because we get asked about, there's 2 different billboards we get asked about all the time. People are like, yeah, so how much is a billboard? Like that one there, like it's like $1,000 a month. And I'm like, oh, it's $1,000 a week, and that's on a deal. Like it's just so crazy. People, but how are you supposed to know?
Well, that's exactly right.
You know what I mean? I don't know how much optometry and stuff and glasses. I mean, I get them, but I didn't know how much they cost. Because when I get glasses every 2 years, I can't remember how much they are.
Yeah.
So it's don't feel bad there. That's the fact that you were prepared at all. Still super counts.
Yeah. Thanks.
And so do you work your financial year or do you work calendar year for yours?
Financial year.
Oh my God, you're so grown up. I still do calendar year. I can't.
And that costs more money than you probably think. So having a realistic budget, I think helps. Knowing your target market, so being really aware of who you're actually trying to target.
I think too, like who you want to work with as well, sort of thing. Like, not that you can necessarily be super choosy right from the start. Like sometimes you just got to take whatever clients you can get. Yeah. But I think having an idea of who, like, it's not just going, oh, we can. Because many people are like, well, anyone can use our services. It's like, okay, cool, but who would you like? Like,
who would be your ideal?
Like for you, it's probably going to be like, well, someone who's going to keep coming back each time because they actually care about their health, and you know they probably have kids, so that one person can then bring me a bunch of people, and you know what I mean. So that's when you start to nut out who that audience is, as opposed to just like anyone, because anyone can use your service.
That's exactly right.
4-year-olds can use your service, you know.
So being consistent in your branding. So, you know, having
my heart. I'm so glad you said that.
Having
We're going to be friends now. I can just trust me.
And again, who we used to do all our branding was amazing, and we're consistent across the board. Everything looks the same, down to the colours in our uniforms matching, complementing the logo being embroidered on it because we're a bit OCD.
No. That's the whole point. And I get it. Like I said, people quite often start off where they spend all this time and money investing in getting their business set up, but not the marketing.
Yeah.
So that their cousins, brothers, friends, dog will set up their logo. I'm not against using freelancers and all that kind of stuff. I totally get it. But it's just, if you're going to do that, still be aware that you want things set up properly.
Yes.
Because then if you have a couple of dodgy freaking PNGs and you don't actually have like a few different logos at least in different file formats and like your color suites or whatever, the amount of times people come and like even really established businesses and their massive expensive building signage to the uniforms that their 200 staff are wearing to the fucking business cards and capability statements are all different shades. And I'm just like, it hurts. It hurts so hard to see that.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even notice themselves. Oh, yeah. That is different.
So yeah,
dumbasses.
consistent. And my last piece is don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Okay. Wow. Now I'm feeling judged. We might not be able to be friends now.
Because it's definitely something that I'm quite happy to hide in my dark little room. And
I like being behind the scenes, man. That's what marketing is. People think marketing is out front. It's not. It's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Even this podcast is kind of like, it might seem like I'm out in front, but I'm looking at the camera. I get to look at you. Yeah. And we're just doing this from my house. It's not even that big of a deal.
So yes, I've learnt to be comfortable with seeing my face and my name.
Big on that billboard.
Yeah, but that's what's
it looked awesome. As the person who was not on the billboard, I was like, that's so cool. If I was the person on the billboard, I would probably be like, holy shit, my head is massive. It is uncomfortable.
I'm just grateful my kids aren't 10 years older because mum's still cool at the moment.
Oh, right.
Time she won't be.
Yeah, dude, you would have been ragged out for that something chronic.
So yeah, I think putting yourself out there, being the face of your business is really what's probably worked the best for us.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, there you go. You taught me something too. Maybe this time I'll learn. Maybe this time I'll listen and I'll actually do it. I wouldn't have hope for that. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate this, man. That was a very interesting conversation. See, that's the thing too. I've had people ask me before, they're like, oh, like what questions are you going to ask? And, do you want to know what we're going to talk about and stuff like that? I'm like, no, I don't want to know what you're going to say. The whole point is for it to be a surprise to me as well. Yeah, exactly. So that was very different from what I thought, but it's very good. Excellent. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you got a lot out of that as well and that you're ready to put yourself out front of business like I am. I'm totally ready to do that. Thanks so much for joining us. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Marketing and Margaritas. Find more free marketing tips, tricks and laughs at rebelnation.com.au.